this video lecture on target markets, presented by Ed Grochowski. When we talk about targeting, this is after we've segmented all of our customers, and they're all in different segments. Now what we're going to do for target marketing is we're going to focus on one of those segments. The goal of target marketing is to maximize our marketing efficiency. Especially now that we can track more and more information about our customers, we need to be able to understand that with that technology, hopefully we can be more efficient with our overall marketing. And so there's a couple different ways that we can select our markets. And the first way we look at it is what we call top-down selection. And this is going to evaluate the market based on the company's mission. And so we're going to look at our individual resources, the SWOT analysis, and our brand personality to see, okay, which market are we going to be going after. And generally we want to break down our customer base into at least 3 markets. When we talk about bottom up, this is when we take, okay, which target market of ours is going to be the most profitable. And so we're going to look at maybe the size of the market, the potential growth of that specific market. Maybe it's a market that doesn't have a lot of competition in it. And what are the customer actions within that market? Maybe you pick a market that companies or different customers have more discretionary income. So it's all going to depend on your specific product that you're looking at selling. We're going to be doing a competitive evaluation. And people really don't know necessarily how to do good analysis of their competition. A lot of people feel that they don't have any competition. Trust me, your product isn't rare enough that you don't have competition. You're going to be looking at how do your strengths compare to your competition. What is it that you do well versus how does your competition do in that same area? And so let's say you are a local retail store and you want to compete against Walmart. You're not going to beat them on price. Okay, just come to that realization right now. If you think you're going to compete with them on price, you're not going to do it. What a lot of people in business, the mistake they make is they feel that they've got to compete on price. People do not just purchase on price. And quite honestly, you don't want that customer who just makes their purchasing decisions on price because they're not loyal. Right? It's like those coupon people. You know, there's a TV show out there, and I know a couple people who are, I don't know what the right term, I call them crazy couponers. You know, you see them every once in a grocery store. I know someone who does this, hey, do you want any Fruit Loops? I've got 50 boxes of Fruit Loops. Okay, you know what they're going to do next week? Are they going to buy Fruit Loops? No, they're not loyal to Fruit Loops. They're loyal to the deal. And so next week they might have a coupon where a box of Frosted Flakes only costs them 10 cents. So they're going to buy 30 boxes of Frosted Flakes. And so a lot of times we think, oh, we got to be the lowest price. And in essence, all we're doing is lowering the value of our product or service, because value is based off, people have this perception that value is based off of how much it's worth. And so we lower the value in the customer's mind, and we bring in customers that aren't going to be loyal to us. So it really doesn't make a lot of sense to just focus off of price alone. And so you want to look at what is your strengths. And so if you're competing against Walmart, customer service has got to be one of your strengths because you're not going to beat them on price. So you got to find something else, some other value-added piece that you feel you do better than Walmart. Then there's a way of tracking customers' perceptions through perceptual maps. And what a perceptual map will do is a perceptual map will actually gear and target what customers think about your product or service. And it will do it for you in a graphical way. what is it that your competition does in the area of quality and price? Is it a high-end product? Is it a low-end product? How do you fit into that target area? What is your niche? What is it that you are going to do? And so you want to make sure that you're identifying all these items from your competition. Identify the market size. Sometimes this can be a difficult thing to do. As we said before in the segmentation videos, you can't just think that everyone between 21 and 60 is a customer of yours. And so identifying and figuring out what is the true size of your potential market, that sometimes can be difficult. You want to make sure that each estimate is as precise as you possibly can be. The more precise and the more time you put into the data that's going into the evaluation, the better the segment is going to be. And the better that you know that segment, and the better that you're going to be able to target that specific segment. When we talk about external factors, if you take an economics class, the one thing that a lot of times in economics, it's a science. And so the economic classes, a lot of times it's what's happening inside this bubble, but there's external factors that can come into play that throw that whole thing off. How is price going to affect your projections? What happens when the price of gas goes up from $3 a gallon to $3.50 a gallon? How much is that going to affect your customers? Because it's going to affect your customers in several ways. First way it's going to affect your customers. People have to buy gas. It isn't something you can like, I don't think I'll buy gas this week. If you want to drive someplace, you're going to have to buy gas. And so 50 cents a gallon, more than what it previously was. For me, I have a vehicle that's got a 25-gallon tank. So every time I fill up, that's costing me $12 extra. And so it's $12 I didn't have to spend on something else. And so we look at the quantity and the quality of the competition also. How is that going to affect my projections? Here are my individual projections. Now, what happens if a new competitor comes in the marketplace? How is that going to affect those projections? And so there's some external things that come into play there. Getting back to the price piece and the cost of gas, the other thing gas is going to do is your shipping costs and your operational costs are going to go up. And so you have a decision. You keep your price the same and you make less money on it, or you raise the price to keep your profitability the same. And you've got to pay attention to what your competition is doing. How is that price increase? You just asked these people are going to be paying more dollars at the pump, and now they got to pay more for transportation costs, so now the cost of your product is going to go up. How are you going to deal with that? And so different companies have done different things to react to that. In the airline business, what do we do to compete with the cost of fuel going up? We created a fuel surcharge. Now we started charging people for bags. We want to keep the individual price down, so when they see the flight, we want to keep their flight price down, even though we know that we're going to charge them our $50 or $60 before it's all said and done. But we're going to keep that individual price down, so they'll buy the ticket, not realizing all these other things will get added on to it. I'm a big fan of ice cream. Love ice cream. I look at like Edie's ice cream. What did they do to counteract this issue? They were realizing that their price point of their product was getting up there pretty high. And so could they raise their price to $7 for a thing of ice cream? So what they did is they decided, let's make our packages smaller and put less content in it. Same price, smaller packaging. Because price becomes a very big psychological thing in someone's head. And so these are different ways that different companies have decided to hit kind of the same issue or same problem. We talk about business-to-business markets. Now, we talked about this earlier, but in some ways it's going to be easier to find your data. You've got the census, you've got the one benefit you have industry research. There's generally going to be some industry association attached with any industry that is out there, and so they're going to do research. The NAICS codes, you can research the different industries by that, and there's a lot of other external databases that'll talk about the size and width and breadth of different industries. So it gives you an idea of how large that market is, who's in the market, how much they're spending in the market. So the information for business-to-business markets is out there. Generally, because business markets are going to be smaller than consumer markets, and the data is easier to collect.